Hello everyone. Today we are going to study about another optical property of a semiconductor, which is photoconductivity. So the term consists of two subterms, which is photo and conductivity. Photo is related to photon or a light. So when light is incident on a semiconductor, how it is going to change the conductivity we are going to study, whether it is going to increase or decrease, or whether it is remaining constant. So let us study in detail about photoconductivity. So what actually is photoconductivity? Here there will be increase in electrical conductivity due to the light incident on a semiconductor. So if you take a semiconducting slab and incident light over it, then due to the photons which has the energy in it, the electrons or the carriers present in the conductor, or here it is semiconductor, it is going to increase, means there is an increase in electrical conductivity due to photon incident over the semiconductor. Why it happens? It is due to excitation of electrons across the energy gap, and due to the excitation the number of free carriers are going to increase. That is, both electrons as well as holes, their concentration will increase, and these are nothing but the carriers which are going to contribute for electrical conductivity. So the stimulus or input is a photon, and because of that there will be excitation of electrons, which is making the electron free to move in the conduction band, and a hole is created which is free to move in the valence band. That is, the number of free carriers are going to increase, because of which there will be increase in electrical conductivity, and this phenomena is called as photoconductivity. And we know that the excitations will occur in order to make the electron as well as holes free. The condition is that the photon energy H cross omega should be greater than energy gap. That is about the fundamental absorption. Because only when the electron goes into the conduction band, it is free to move and it acts as a conduction electron to contribute for electrical conductivity. And simultaneously a hole will be created in the valence band, which will be free to move within the valence band. Again, it is going to contribute for conductivity. So this condition is important. And photoconductivity is a principle of infrared solid state detector. So this is a application of photoconductivity in case of semiconductors. So let us understand using some equation. First let us consider a semiconducting slab, and let us say that current is flowing through the slab, and due to the current there will be charge carriers created, or we can say the electrons and holes are moving, which is going to contribute for conductivity. And if the light beam is turned on so as that the light beam is impinging or incident on the slab normal to its face, so here the incident radiation will be in perpendicular direction as that of the face of the semiconducting slab. And what happens after that? So if the light is turned on, if the light is turned off, then the conductivity sigma naught will be equal to N naught E mu E plus P naught E mu H. Here N naught and P naught are equilibrium concentrations. So it is before the light is incident over it. That is, no photon is acting on the semiconductor. So before the light is turned on, that is in the absence of light, we have sigma naught, that is static conductivity. That will be only due to the current flow in the semiconducting slab. And if the light is turned on, then the concentration of free carriers increase by an amount delta n and delta p. Initially there will be n naught number of electrons and p naught number of holes at equilibrium. But when the light is incident or when light is turned on, in that case the energy from the photon will be absorbed by the electrons present in the semiconducting slab and they will be excited, and due to which the number of carriers will be changing. So n naught will be increasing by delta n and the free carrier, which is a hole, will increase by an amount delta p. And as there is increase in the number of charge carriers, the current is going to increase abruptly, that is electrical conductivity increases. So this is what is photoconductivity. Main thing is that input is the photon, whereas the output is increase in conductivity. That's why it is termed as photoconductivity. And in order to derive certain relation, let us consider the equations. So here, because of the excitation, the electrons and holes will be created in pairs. That is, only when the electron gets excited into the conduction band, a hole will be created. We are not going to dope any impurity while studying photoconductivity. So here, as they are created in pairs simultaneously, we say that delta n is equals to delta p. And based on that, the conductivity will change from sigma naught to sigma, where sigma will be equal to sigma naught, that is static conductivity, plus the conductivity due to the photons, that is change in conductivity, E delta n into mu E plus mu H. We know that conductivity sigma in terms of mobility is equal to Ne mu. So here we are considering it as delta n, that is increase in conductivity, increase in carrier due to the photons, into mu E plus mu H, mobility of electron plus mobility of holes. So here delta n and delta p are equal. So we can just write in this way. So if you simplify, mu h is taken outside, so that we get sigma is equals to sigma naught plus E into delta n into mu h into 1 plus B. Here B is equals to mu E by mu h, which is called as mobility ratio. Then here we can observe that conductivity sigma is equals to static conductivity plus some other term. So we can observe due to the action of photons, there is increase in conductivity. Then let us study about relative increase in conductivity, that is given as the ratio of change in conductivity to the static conductivity. Change in conductivity is nothing but sigma minus sigma naught, which is denoted as delta sigma, is equals to E delta n mu h into 1 plus b divided by sigma naught. So this is the expression for relative increase in conductivity. So how to find out the value of delta n? So because of the photons incident over the system, there will be excess of free carriers which is created within the semiconductor. So the equilibrium state is disturbed and the situation is non-equilibrium state. So there are mainly two factors which leads to variation of n. N is nothing but the carrier concentration with respect to time. First one is the generation, that is free carriers are continuously created by the incident beam, that is due to the photons incident. So this is nothing but the generation of carriers. And the second factor is recombination, that is excess carriers will be annihilated by recombination process. So here in the first case there will be generation, that is increase in the number of carriers, it is electron in conduction band or hole in the valence band. Whereas there is another factor also due to which the concentration of the carrier will change with respect to time, that is due to recombination. Some of the electrons and hole can recombine, due to which the carrier number will decrease. So all this variation of concentration with time is governed by the rate equation, which is equals to dN by dt, that is rate of change of carrier concentration, is equals to G minus n naught by tau dash. Let us call it as equation number 2. Here G is the rate of generation of electrons per unit volume due to light absorption or photon absorption. So when a photon is incident, the energy will be absorbed and carriers, that is electron, will be excited, that is acting as a free or conduction electron, and simultaneously a hole is generated in the valence band. So here there will be increase in the number of carriers, whereas the second term n minus n naught by tau dash is nothing but the rate of recombination of electrons. So generated electrons minus the electrons which have or carriers which undergo recombination will give us the variation of n with respect to time. Here tau dash is the recombination time, or even we can say that lifetime for a free carrier. So we know that due to the photons incident, the state of the semiconductor is in non-equilibrium, and whenever a system is in non-equilibrium state, it tries to come back to the state of equilibrium. So what is the condition? Let's see. So when the state is steady in nature, there will be no change in carrier concentration with respect to time. It is going to remain constant. That's why it is called as equilibrium or steady state. For that case, dN by dt will be equal to 0. And if you substitute the equation value from equation number 2, we get n minus n naught, that is axis number of carriers, which is equals to delta n, will be equal to G into tau dash, which is nothing but generation time or generation rate into the relaxation time will give us the excess number of carriers. Let us call it as equation number 3. Then we need to find out some relations which are very important in the phenomena of photoconductivity. So let's find out the relation between the generation rate G, alpha, the absorption coefficient, and the intensity, that is I of omega. So let the semiconductor slab be of thickness equal to D, and when you multiply it by the absorption coefficient, we get the fraction of power absorbed in the slab. And if n of omega is the number of photons falling on the medium per unit time, then the number of photons absorbed per unit time will be equal to alpha into D into n of omega. That is fraction of power absorbed in the slab into the number of photons. That will give us the number of photons absorbed per unit time. And thus the rate of generation per unit time, that is G, can be written as alpha into D into n of omega divided by V. So numerator is nothing but the number of photons absorbed per unit time divided by the volume, which is nothing but the generation rate per unit volume. And this is the relation which relates the generation rate G and the absorption coefficient alpha. That's why it is called as generation rate and absorption coefficient relation. Then the number of incident photons based on this equation will be equal to n of omega is equals to I of omega into A divided by h cross omega. So if you just match the dimensions, we can easily understand this equation. So the number of incident photons on the semiconductors will be equal to, it is something like number of photon into its energy is equals to intensity into area of the slab. So when you just rearrange, we get equation number 5, where h cross omega is the photon energy, I of omega is intensity, A is the area of the semiconducting slab, and when you multiply I of omega into area A, it is giving us the incident power. So we have derived some of the relation, but here we have not derived any relation with respect to alpha and I of omega. So let us find out. For that, we are just using equation number 3, 4 and 5. We have equation number 3 as delta n is equals to G into tau dash. So in place of G, we can substitute the value of G from equation number 4, which is equals to alpha D n of omega by V into tau dash as it is. Again we have found out from equation number 5 what is the value of n of omega. That is equals to I of omega into A divided by h cross omega. So here we can observe that in the numerator we have D into A, that is the thickness into area, which is nothing but the volume of the slab itself. So D into A divided by V, which is volume, will cancel out, which gives us delta n, that is axis number of carriers, is equals to alpha into I of omega into tau dash divided by h cross omega. Here the relation relates between the axis number of carriers, the absorption coefficient as well as the intensity. So this is equation number 6. And if you substitute this value in our equation number 1, which was giving us delta sigma by sigma naught, which is the relative conductivity, we get E into E as it is into, in place of delta n, we need to put alpha I of omega tau dash by h cross omega into mu h into 1 plus b as it is divided by sigma naught. And this is a very important relation which explains about relative increase in conductivity due to the photons incident over a semiconductor slab or semiconducting material. So then let us find out what are the result or conclusion based on some standard values. So if you put the relaxation time tau dash is equals to 10 raised to minus 4 second and intensity of incident radiation as 10 raised to minus 4 watt per centimeter square, then the photon energy for germanium, it will be equal to the energy gap of the semiconductor itself. So it is equals to 0.7 electron volt, because if it is less than that for germanium, there won't be the fundamental absorption taking place, that is electron from the valence band cannot excite into the conduction band, so there will be no increase in the carriers. That's why the photon energy will be equal or greater than the energy gap of the given semiconductor. If you substitute the values, then we find that the excess number of carrier delta n will come up approximately equal to 5 into 10 raised to 14 centimeter per centimeter cube, and this value is very much appreciable. That is, there is an appreciable increase in the number of free carriers only because of the incident photon, and as there will be increase in the number of carriers, obviously it is going to contribute for electrical conductivity. So because of the photons incident over the semiconductor, we have proved or we have observed that there will be increase in the number of carriers, due to which the conductivity is going to increase. So this is the concept of photoconductivity, but one thing we need to remember is that we have not considered any surface recombination, that is recombination of free carriers near the surface, because near the surface some other conditions are going to be considered. This is just the general or simpler explanation of photoconductivity. So this is about the details of photoconductivity in case of semiconductors, and this is for today's class. Thank you.